Yo, what is up, plebs? Welcome back to another nades video. I decided on train without even looking at the poll because it was the final map of the grand final in between SK vs Pro at DreamHack Las Vegas, which finished yesterday if you're in Australia like me. I'm essentially going to try and just dash these nades, EXD, my name, because, yeah, time's a factor. So, starting straight at T-spawn in between this red train and the wall right here, left side of this left-hand chimney, all the way up to the Y and just a little bit above to remove any possibility for error. Bounce off the roof, that lands in between a red and blue train. Just like that. Up against the bin and this piece of plywood right here, and you want to aim in between the box and the bin here, relatively equal distance away from one another, and just enough so that it's not going to clip either of them when you let go of the smoke, and that's going to land for Carrigan, or to cut off blue train and the wall, if people don't really know about the calls. Come up to the left hand side of this pipe, you can see if I get rid of the sun, there's where this white meets the black, there's that corner right there. I'm going to put the left hand edge of my crosshair on that point right there, so left hand side of these pipes. You can see the left hand side of my crosshairs right where the white and the black meet at that corner, and just left click. That's going to give you the back of red train, or in between the red and the green train should I say, so people are incapable of playing this position. There's the 3 bomb train smokes, so middle, left, and right side of bomb train. So if you walk up these shadows, you can see there's this one that angles backwards slightly. It's going to stand right on the corner of that, and you can see this angled box, and you're essentially going to do what you did with the plywood bin smoke right there. So just enough so it's not going to clip either of the boxes, but equal distance away from one another basically, and just left click that. That'll give you right side bomb train from the T's perspective, just like that. Middle of bomb train is this white piece of cover right here that connects with the bin. You want to stand exactly where those two meet. And you're going to aim at the top right hand corner of this office looking building right here and just left click that, and that'll give you the middle of the bomb train. Just like that. For the left side of bomb train, you want to go to the circle and center yourself on it. It's the only circle on the bin, so it's not hard to find. You want to look back up to the corner of that office building, and you want to go 2 lines underneath. So 1, 2. So it's essentially this third corner, if you want to call it that, on the office building, or the top right hand corner of the window, essentially. And just out a little bit, like out from the building itself, and just left click, and that'll give you the left side of the bomb train. And you can also smoke connector from on top of this bin if you come into the center of where these 2 boxes that angle sort of inwards meet, and you just want to aim at the corner of that office building again and left click, and that will bounce off the bomb train and give you connector. Probably the best connector smoke you can do from T-spawn, so make sure you use it. Vines, there's only 2 smokes you really need, left and right side. You can see this white space where it meets the blue. There's this small triangle right there. You just want to aim at the point of it, run and left click throw. That'll give you left side of vines or ivy, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it vines for the purpose of this video. And for right side, you can see this sort of angle on the wall. You just want to aim or line yourself up with the left hand side of it. And you can see the arrows, the top one, the bottom left hand corner, and up to the top of this unit looking thing, and just left click that. That'll give you right side vines. They bloom close together, but you wouldn't be tossing both of them at the same time. That would be redundant. Moving over towards above SL, there's a number of smokes you can actually throw from up here. The first one I'm going to do is going to land between green train and the wall to cut off all of hell and back of green train, spotting it down towards T-con. So you come up to this line against the B, essentially the only line on the B that you can really line yourself up with other than that one, and you want to aim the second row. You want to come to this bottom left hand window, not this one over here, but this one that you can actually utilize, and you can use this second row brick line right here, but up to the first brick there, and you're just going to left click that, and that'll give you a green train smoke. That cuts off all of hell and people peeking back a green train. Where am I going? Jesus. You can also do vines from SL, so I use this, I call it like a middle brick because it's in the middle of the stairs and the ladder, but you can identify it by this big crack that runs all the way down here. So you want to center yourself on that and be right back up against the wall here, like that. And you're going to use this bottom left window here, but you're going to use the second row brick line again and just up to the first row of bricks, and just left click that, and that will smoke vines for you from above SL. You can also smoke back a green train. Seems like a strange smoke, but I'll explain why I think it's useful once I've thrown it. So you go to this line above the stairs right here, back up against the blue, and you actually want to use the beneath the bottom right window here. You got this first row brick line and the second row brick line. You want to aim in between those 2 on the first row of bricks right there, and just left click. That'll actually bounce off the green train, and it will give you a back of green train smoke. And I think this one's useful because it isolates the back of green train and vines from hell. So you can actually take hell control. There's enough space there to molotov without the smoke actually extinguishing it. And I also thought if a teammate smokes vines as well from above SL, so you got the vine smoke down, And I'll re-smoke this as well. So you smoke that, you can actually come out, you can clear hell without fear of being dueled from either in the corner right there or from vines itself. And if your teammate actually smokes vines as well and you push the smoke, just as you start coming out of smoke, the angles start to expose themselves for you. So it doesn't fully obscure you, so you have to wide peek and, you know, expose yourself to all these angles right here. But that's a bit further than it normally would land. But you can actually come out and clear back a bomb one by one. So you can clear all the angles individually and isolate them how you want. You can actually do both these sides of bomb train as well from above a cell. So you're going to use both mouse buttons for this. So for this right side one, line just above SL here, center yourself on it, and you're going to use, if you cut this window in half like vertically, you're going to use left hand side and essentially in the middle. You don't want to aim too low though, otherwise it's going to hit the ledge, and just do both your mouse buttons. You're going to have to practice probably a little bit, but once you get it down pat, it's worth it, because almost every team uses these like wall smokes on the bomb train, because they give you access to this part of the site. You can actually plant the bomb there and play for SL without even spotting a CT if you do all the smokes and play around it properly. So yeah, it's worth actually utilizing both mouse buttons for that. The left side of bomb train is the same, except from a different angle. So you see this white stain here on the aircon unit, the white dot. Gonna aim at that and up to like where this bigger white area starts right there. So just that line right there, and you're actually gonna walk through this. Seems ridiculous, but there's a lot of leeway with that smoke. So you can walk a little further than I did, walk a little less than I did. As long as you use both middle mouse buttons, it's not going to go too far. Obviously, right clicking wouldn't even go out the window. And you can actually smoke both sides of the bomb train from above a cell like that. The last one that I actually have is a B-side connector smoke from above here. So if you line up with like this metal thing just above the stairs, the right hand side of it, and you're just going to use this brick line right here essentially, and just left click at that, and that'll give you a B side of connector smoke. So yeah, you can actually just toss that, just run straight into B, toss low ramp smoke if you want, and yep. So low ramp smoke, obviously you can just walk, throw, or just throw how you want. I would recommend walking because it gives a bit more depth. You don't want your smoke to land right here, because then the CTs can push up relatively close, and as soon as you plant the bomb, they have like, it's a lot easier for them to push a smoke that's here than it is for them to push a smoke that's a lot deeper like that, because if they push the deep smoke, they've got so much more exposed space that they have to cover before they can actually get to the bomb planter right there. You can smoke connector from this corner right here. You can see like this panel. It's only a small corner, so it's like sloped, you'll slide up it, but if you want to get right into that corner, this first like intersection on the railing here, just aim at it and run through. It'll bounce off the ramp and give you connector smoke, just like that. And you can actually smoke as well. I'll call this white train because different places use different names for it. You can smoke in between the bomb train and white train to stop people from pushing from like summit up to from the left hand side up to the bomb planter. So you just want to aim where this railing and this corner are going to meet in the air. So around about there. You just follow that, and you want to run with the smoke, but you only want to run like one step, because if you run too far, it's really easy for the smoke to fuck up. So just run like one step with that, and as you can see, following the line, if I ran further and I had a bit more power, I would have flown over and actually get stuck in this gap right here pretty often. But that's all the relatively useful smokes, or smokes worth knowing. Some you can find other places, some I practically made up whilst I was making this video. So I'll just go on to some flashes. So these will be CT-sided mainly, because a lot of the smokes were, well, basically all the smokes were T-sided. Actually, one CT-sided smoke you can throw is straight out of the CT spawn if you come right into this corner up against this wall from old bomb, and you use this bottom set of wires, and where they intersect for the first point, if you just left click at that, that'll actually smoke CT con for you. So you know, if your like bomb train player runs through CT spawn instead and runs down here, really easy to throw, just toss it and then they can run, you know, straight away play back a bomb train or whatever they want to do. But flashbangs, so there's white wall, you can see this one with like the brown dot on it, you want to run up to that. The reason I use this one is because it's still hidden from T-con. It's not exposed, and if you just aim at this first black dot and just left click a flashbang, that's actually a really good pop flash to get teammates to push T-con with, so they can be close, either side, they can be pushing up here, you know, they know like right here is clear, they just want to clear all the close angles. That flash will still blind people hiding in this corner, as you can see. They won't even see it coming until they're blinded. So there's that one. Going over towards vines. Flashing off this train is useful, but I prefer to walk because it makes the flash a little more shallow and it pops quicker than if you toss a flash that's out wide like this. You can also come right into this corner here and aim where these white pipes meet this like square metal section right there and just left click that, and that'll bounce on the other side of the boxes and pop as well. A bit more redundant because it pops right-sided, so it won't necessarily get people who are holding like there, whereas this one will, but you know, each to their own. Some people prefer different flashes. You can pop flash out a CT con if you come around to this corner and you aim at this first wire here, and you just run throughout the wall. And that'll actually bounce over without bouncing on the roof of this thing, so they get a little less warning. It bounces relatively deep, but it's good for blinding people who might be pushing like close con wall or whatnot. If you're stuck on bomb train, and tossing flashes like this is a bit redundant because a lot of the time they go too deep. So if you actually come to this side, you can actually use the angles of the bomb train to your advantage. And the good thing about these flashes is... I went a bit too shallow, but the good thing about these flashes is they pop relatively wide. What the fuck happened to that one? There you go, they pop relatively wide, and so they'll blind people that are like dueling from T-Con, even if they're holding like relatively tight angles against you like that. You can also pop flash SL, so if your teammate's like here for example, and they're going to push SL, or if your teammate's over here at Olaf and they want to peek SL like this, if you actually stand on the bomb train, you aim at the bottom of this yellow line that runs across here and just left click that, that actually pops just in front of SL like that. And will actually blind people that are sitting in this corner right here waiting for this, so your teammates can actively push and actually clear that line without fear of being 1-beat as soon as they run around the corner. You can also just, if you're playing high ramp, sometimes I do this with an AWP, if you're peeking this line, you peek, you get a kill, and you can see them all coming at you. You can actually use this railing right here, so if you just walk through off that, that'll actually pop as soon as it hits the floor, so that's like the definition of a pop flash right there. And yeah, it's actually a really good pop flash for this entire like whole region because, as you can see, pops in view of there. So probably won't get them fully because of the distance, but at the very least it will partially blind them. And a flash that I always toss when I'm running out of CT con as well is actually off this wall right here. So just anywhere off this wall, if you just run and launch that, and it'll actually bounce off the wall and pop essentially like in front of blue train here, but it pops in view of T-Con. So even as you're running here, you know, you can toss that off there and use E-Box to cover yourself from the flashbang. It'll bounce off the train or blind all of T-Con like that. That's all the juicy flashbangs. The Molotovs are mainly T-sided. So for back of red train, especially if this area is smoked right here, you just want to go to like the back right hand corner of this drain right here and step out to the right just so you can see the right hand side of that aircon unit right there, and then you just want to left click throw that, and that actually Molotovs the back of red train. It doesn't look like it gets here, but it actually spreads and it burns here anyway, so as you can see, it'll spread right there. You can Molotov sandwich if you come to the right hand edge of these boxes right here, and you can see this white strip of paint that runs across the wall. Just aim in the middle of it and up to the second strip of metal that's running horizontally across the wall there, and just run through, and that'll Molotov wall the sandwich for you. Just be wary that they can still use the ladders to fire from the Molotovs. Apparently not that one, but this one they definitely will be able to use. So just be wary of that, but even if they're on the ladder, they'll be inaccurate. So that's that. And the last one's E-Box, which is a bit tricky because you essentially have this kind of line to work with, and I gotta toss it from back here to be safe from any lines. So you come to the second notch on the train here, and you want to essentially aim. There's actually another dot that's exactly like this one on this side, but I shot it by mistake for some reason. So you just want to aim at that and then down to this line, and you just want to run jump through. You don't have to have a bind for this or anything. You can just run and jump through as you want. So that's a perfect Molotov for E-Box, just like that. So that's all the train nades that I think are useful enough to know. Obviously, there's a lot of little movement gimmicks you can actually utilize on this map. So let me see if I can do this one. Off the train, for example, you can land on here. It seems kind of useless, but you never know when stuff like that might come in handy. Obviously, you can jump off the A-side bomb train onto the boosting CT con here. So yeah, you can use the trains for like little peaks. Like if you're playing back of the train here and you adjust yourself the right way, you can actually fly off the ladder and land in line. You know, if you got an AWP here and you're just taking peeks and you see someone con, and then you can just take that shot. So there's a lot of little movement gimmicks on this map that are useful as well because of the amount of ladders. So take time to learn them, and you never know what you might find. But until the next map, latest bitches.